Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start this course, and this is about how to develop and management complex projects. So the course code is 706, and there would be 32 sessions of 1 hour approximately. So before we proceed further with our course and course outlines and what would be the conduct of the course, let's have the introduction first. So my name is Tabjeel Ashraf. I am a civil engineer by profession, and I have done my BSc engineering from University of Engineering and Technology, Lahore, and then I have done my Masters of Civil Engineering from that very same university. Then I have a Masters of Project Management from ComSets, Islamabad, and I am a professional engineer, and I am also a PMP, Project Management Professional. I am a member of Pakistan Engineering Council, and I am also a member of Project Management Institute of USA, and I am also member of Institution of Engineers Pakistan and American Society of Civil Engineers. This is about my very personal education background, and now let's have a look on my professional career. So I have been working with these contractors, and after my graduation in engineering, and with consultant, and then I have joined the government service back in 2007. And from that point in time, I have been working with National Highway Authority as assistant director, and in 2010 February I was appointed as deputy director in National Highway Authority. Besides this employment, I have very vast experience as far as project management is concerned, and I have completed more than 50 projects in transportation engineering, highway planning, management field in the capacity of individual consultant. And I have also successfully completed more than 30 projects as individual consultant in project management field. Besides that, for last 7 years, I have been engaged with program management and I have completed 7 programs by this point in time. So this is a brief introduction of me, and now let's have a look of my teaching experience. So, I have a teaching experience as well, and I have taught one construction project administration course in NUST Islamabad to a Masters of Engineering and Management students, and that is all about how we actually administer project management on construction projects. And then one very good topic I have taught over there, and one 3-credit-hour course on risk management in construction in that very university. Then the same course, development and management of complex projects in ComSet Institute of Information Technology, Islamabad campus, to the students of MSPM. And I have taught project cost management in different institutions, time management, and risk management. And then I am a very appreciated individual working with pavement management system in Pakistan. So the people who are in that industry, they are very much familiar with my name, if not with my face, but they do know about my name in that. So that actually shows how hard I have worked in that very field of engineering. So pavement management system is my specialty. And then procurement management of projects, again I have delivered so many lectures on that, and then MS Project 2007 and Primavera P6. I have conducted so many trainings, and I am one of the very few individuals who have worked on training the fellow practitioners on software-aided quantitative risk analysis. So precision trees at risk for Excel, at risk for project, and neural tools and stuff like that. So I have worked a lot in that field of project management. So while we will be doing this course together, yes, we have a risk management part of project management in this course, and we will talk about that in good detail. Like I was referring to different institutions on different topics, but those include but not limited to CIIT Islamabad, NUST Islamabad, UET Lahore, and PIDE Islamabad, and IEP Islamabad chapter, and different project executing government agencies and training bodies, corporate bodies. Okay, so this slide shows over there a glimpse of my teaching experience. What was I doing while I was actually working as an individual consultant capacity, and then working with a very prestigious organization. So throughout my personal life, I have been trying to manage my life, and I have been decorated with honorariums and appreciation within my organization. My seniors, they actually have brought out that I can be ranked among top 3 or stuff like that. So that was just because of the reason that project management thing. After learning project management, I was able to utilize my time effectively and efficiently, and this would be the essence of this course as well. So if you are working on your jobs and you want to continue your education, what would be the magic point, or what would be the some rule of thumb or some hint or stuff like that? That is very simple. We have to manage our time in the best possible manner. So let's start with our course, and that is about development and management of complex projects. So course conduct, so there would be 32 lectures, each of 1 hour, and total 32 hours lectures would be there, including this very session. Each session will be 1 hour session, okay? And that is about video recordings of the lectures, and then we will talk about the basic project management framework and holistic view of the project management. So while engineering is about very objective thing, and even the usage of tools and techniques and software that actually point towards some objectivity, but you should not be losing the holistic view or overall view of the project management. And then we will comprehensively talk about the complex project management framework in Pakistan, and then we will ensure to have exposure to the usage of advanced level project management tools. This is we are going to talk on that, the level advanced level project management tools. This is about if we are using network diagrams and the complex network diagrams. So the tool maybe which actually is using network diagrams, CPM, PARD, all in one suite. So so you have to actually learn that, and the level of effort is quite different from simple projects as of in complex projects. So complex projects, the same framework of project management is fully applicable on simple projects and complex projects, but the level of effort will be different. So we will try to have the usage of those tools which are not used in simple projects, but those are used in complex project management. And we will try to complete our course outline, and the presentations you will be provided with MS PowerPoint presentations and supplemented with project management literature. And through literature, I mean we will discuss those things in relevant sessions or section of this course. The presentations are theme-based, and you will find them interesting. I hope so. And then we will have review of case studies, and we will do a lot of case studies in that. The case studies may be simple numericals, simple scenario-based questions to complete comprehensive bid evaluation, and then forming risk register, or preparing project management plan, or doing some economic analysis or financial modeling and stuff like that. So this is will be case studies will run all through the course. And we will talk about the implementation of tools to real-world complex project problems. When it comes to application of the tools, and I have told you the project management framework remains the same, but the level of effort becomes different as far as simple and complex projects are concerned. So this is the basic difference between the management of simple projects and that of complex projects. So we will talk about advanced level software usage of project management as far as complex project management is concerned. Okay, lecture slides are in English, but at times I will be using our national language as well, Urdu. So lectures will be some sort of bilingual for better and maximum understanding of the students. But most of the lectures will remain in English. So that is the thing. Oh yes, and that is then quizzes and assignments, midterm and final examination. So that is very important. We are going to talk about those in good detail today, and then we will talk about overall student evaluation, how the students will be evaluated in this very course. So this is all about, this is the summary of what we are going to have in next 32 hours together. We can learn a lot, and let's have this opportunity to acquire as much as possible the practical knowledge. People used to say that this person is depicting the bookish knowledge, or this person is having some knowledge which is good in books but not as good as on practical problems. I do not believe in that. The thing is, books are written by some people, and who have written their books with their experience. And there is a very famous quotation, and that says that the good judgment comes from experience, and experience comes from bad judgment. So if somebody is writing about their experiences, and book is very excellent resource because it is the combination of so many, in hundred of people of experience. While we are reading a book, but again, then there is a theoretical part, and how things have been, evolved over the time. And there is another thing, and that is the application of that very thing. So yes, some people do exhibit this thing, that they are so much focused on reading the basis of the tools, they get lost the very concept of the application. And there is again very good quotation, and that is about Confucius, and he said that the true essence of knowledge is to apply it. While knowledge, to possess knowledge is one thing, but to apply it is another thing. So it is all about the application. So these people who have this tendency to quote the books, but they do not refer to some practical thing. But in this very course, we are not going to do that. I am myself is a working professional, and I will let you people know how these things can be used actually. And we will be focusing very good in good detail about the usage of those tools we will discuss in this very class. So this is about the course conduct, and this is about the concept or the basics of this very course. And to maximize our learning and to have a fruit out of this course as far as project management is concerned, these are few guiding points over there. So do listen to lectures very carefully and attentively, and be inquisitive, analytical, critical, creative in your approach for learning project management. So whenever I'm actually stating some logic or stuff like that, or so you should be very inquisitive, and do not simply accept that, okay, if my teacher is telling me this, so I'm going to accept that. But do have some question in your mind. Over there, we are having this limitation. There is you people are having on me on a screen, and I cannot have that interaction with you. But if you are having very good inquisitive approach, and critical one, and then you can actually have contact me, and you can even go and have Googled the thing out, but we are going to talk about that as well. And then do read the prescribed material and literature, so that is very helpful. My course lecture slides, these are not prepared wholly by me. These are actually based on the working of so many learned people out there, and so many standards and so many books. So at times, and most of the times, that is not possible if I can actually quote if I have taken that text from which source, or if I have even typed it my own self, or I have copied it from somewhere. But the point is, in relevant section, I will talk about some sort of references. So if you are going to those references and check it back, and you are reading the context of that text, you would be in better position to understand what I mean by stating some definition or some situation. Okay. And then yes, this is a more modern world, and this is new time, and we do have Google and Wikipedia and stuff like that. So do Google and Wiki and search things related to lectures and project management, and then you will find most of the times the sources of these lectures and the books, and then you will appreciate how many sources have been actually summed up in these few sessions. And I will also advise you people, because you are doing MS, and that is a research kind of degree, after that you can proceed to PhD. As far as practical application is concerned, graduation is quite enough. Okay, so while you are in this class, you have chosen that you may proceed and follow some advancement in your education in near future, and that is about research. But to enhance that thing, you should learn and keep looking for the research papers. And through those research papers, you will be able to understand the basic format of those research papers, and something about research methodology, and then you can have join some blogs, and you can put your questions over there, and there are a few experienced people over there. They can actually answer your questions, and join those discussions. And yes, at times you can contribute a lot, even if you put something which seems illogical, or kind of naive, but at times there are senior people who can point out some logical flaw in your statement, and then you may be able to enhance and groom yourself, and hence these discussions are kind of a very good learning thing on these blogs or these LinkedIn pages and stuff like that. And journals, to keep in pace with modern findings, journals are a very good source for remain updated. And yes, that is not a class. So if you are using your mobile phone and it is ringing, so I am not getting disturbed. But while I was entering in this studio for the recording of these lectures, I have silent my mobile phone so that I can talk to you with full concentration. So the same advice is for you, because it is ultimately you who has to learn. So that would be possible if you can pay very good attention. So while watching these lectures, it is quite good if you can switch them off. But if you cannot switch them off, at least you can make them silent, and you can put them the light side on the table, so you cannot have if there is a message coming or stuff like that. In that case, you will be able to get a very good understanding of my lectures. And I will talk a lot and on different topics, and at times there will be case studies and there will be stories, and everything is related to project management. So if you are missing a part of it, you are not actually going to get full benefit of that story and case study. So this is my advice, and if you can actually follow, so you are going to get very good grades, because you are actually going to depict very good understanding of the lectures then. And yes, that is another very important thing. Do not use any other computer application unless otherwise advised to during watching lecture video. If you are playing a game, please pause it or save it, and you can start your game afterwards. Or if you are actually chatting and you are listening to my lectures, then again you are not paying full attention. So if you are Skyping, and then if you are LinkedIn, and if you are doing tweeting, and if you are doing this Facebook thing, so these things will actually hamper your progress and your time. So while you are actually putting some time, it is very good if you can spend one very good healthy 1 hour with me for one session, and then you can switch all the applications on, and you can have your personal time spent on that. So this is my advice. And then a very important, and that is to not miss out on your assignments and examinations. So whatever the time, do submit your assignments on that time, and do not miss out the examinations. And then there is one thing, that is to not cheat in mid quizzes, assignments, or final examinations. So if you are my student, and I will try to make things very simple for you, and I will try to talk as plainly as I can, and at times I can try to explain the things in naive way, but cheating is not appreciable. So try to spend good time listening to the lectures, reading through the presentations, and then you are so good with the quizzes and mids and examination and assignments. So there is no point actually in making some arrangement for the cheating. So do not do that. And for that, I will recommend to follow this code of ethics and professional conduct in this very course. So the code of ethics and professional conduct of this course describes the expectations that we have of ourselves and our fellow practitioners in project management field. It articulates the ideals to which we aspire, as well as the behaviors that are mandatory in our professional and volunteer roles. And those are responsibility, respect, fairness, and honesty, and these are prime considerations in addition to professionalism at our workplace, learning institution, and at community level. So this code of ethics and professional conduct was adopted from PMI USA. So this is they are having the same code of ethics and professional conduct. So if we are following that, then we should be very responsible, and what is happening around us, we should be having very clear idea. We are equally responsible for that, and we should respect ourselves and others around us, and we should remain fair and just. And there is some quotation, being good is easy, but being just is difficult one. So we should be very fair and just, and we should remain honest. If we will remain honest, then things will come our way, good way. So these are a few things which I will request you to follow after and within that course and after in your professional life. And now let's talk about some objectives of this very course. So one of the objectives is to give you people a broad introduction to the subject of complex project management, to manage complexity, to meet project objectives in novel way, and to acquaint the course participants comprehensively and at considerable depth with project management tools to be applied to project activities to maximize the probability of success of such projects, and to motivate the class participants to apply their acquired knowledge to projects of different types, levels of complexity, which they will be directly or indirectly involved in, and to help them undertake their projects systematically and more effectively and efficiently. And to demonstrate an appreciation that the development of country's economy and society is dependent in part on executing projects of varying complexities. To encourage participants to apply their knowledge, skills, competencies, tools, and technique on project activities and enhance them through continuous learning from different projects, and to create an enthusiasm among you people for usage of different practical tools and techniques to real-world project activities. Okay, to meet these objectives, we will follow these course outlines over there. And we will start with the introduction of basic terminology. What is the definition of project, program, portfolio, process, complex project, and then complex project management and classification areas, project management complexities, factors, attributes of complex projects. And then we will be talking about project management framework, project life cycle, project management processes, project management body of knowledge, and PMBOK extensions, and the approval process of public sector development projects, project management in public sector in Pakistan, the case study of construction industry, the structure of industry and national economies, and industry problems as far as project management is concerned. So this is a very good case study. And then we will talk about project stakeholder identification in complex projects, analysis and management, analytical techniques, stakeholder engagement through interpersonal and management skills, and controlling stakeholder engagement. And we will talk about who is project manager, who are the project team, what is the difference between project team and project management team, project management offices, project communication management, and then value engineering. This is very important topic. We will have a brief description of that. So value engineering, history, the value concept, value types, life cycle costing, value engineering techniques, reasons for poor value, functions, what are functions, what are the levels of functions, and methods for calculation of LCC, and some economic concepts, financial concepts, and we will have a few case studies on them as well. And then we're talking about estimating, budgeting methods, top-down, bottom-up, budget types, budgeting systems, cost estimating, learning curves, and case study. So this case study is a very good case study, and you will appreciate how we do estimate and how we do develop a budget. And then project planning and scheduling, WBS and linear responsibility charts. So what is WBS, how this is used? This is the same. This WBS is used on simple and complex, both the projects, but then CPM scheduling, network diagrams, and project time management, Gantt charts. So all this will be covered in this very course. And project controlling through earned value management, EVMS, earned value management system, earned value analysis, and then we will be talking about some steps in earned value management system, performance measurement baseline, PMB, how we develop this PMB, and we will be following all this, and you will learn how we will develop this thing. And this is a very good tool to monitor and control the project. And then elements of EVMS, indices of EVMS, variances of the EVMS, and forecasts. How do we forecast the time, cost, and performance, and methods to calculate earned value. So earned value. So these are very important topics, and we will have good sessions on them. And then we will talk about this very good tool, and that is about multi-criteria decision making, analytical hierarchy process, AHP, and steps in AHP, and how to check the consistency, and we will try to complete 2 case studies on that. So this AHP is used on decision making in procurement and in risk, and anywhere where we have to take up some appraisal, and appraisal is about selection among alternatives. So alternative analysis is appraisal, and this is very good tool we have. Then procurement management in complex projects. What is RFP, RFQ, IFP, and basic terminology, and what are the contract types, and tender documents, and bidding documents, and outlines of bidding documents, and instructions to bidders, and standard bidding documents, and clauses and conditions of the contract, and stages of contract negotiation, terms, basic terms, and types of bidding in projects, and procurement process for works and services, and contract administration and dispute resolution, and a case study on procurement guidelines of our donor agency. We will carry out very good case study, and in that we will try to evaluate a financial proposal. And then there is a risk management practices. We will be having a good number of sessions on that, like kind of 7 sessions will be on risk management, and that is a very important part of this very course. And risk management framework we will talk, and then risk planning, and identification, analysis, responses, and controlling, simulations, decision trees, probability theory, quantification, use of software for risk management in complex projects. Everything will be covered, and how to plan the responses, how will we carry out responses, and how do we control the risk. So this is all about these course outlines, and there are a few recommended books A few of them are given over there, so you can have a look on them. Okay, and then there is a fun part, and that is about how will you be evaluated in this very course. So this is a very important part of this today's session, and this is about distribution of the course marks. Well, there is only one assignment, and total weightage is 10 marks. Now that is very healthy weightage. So participants are expected to show that they can convincingly relate concepts discussed in class with their project management related professional work. Assignments can be written in timed form and must be submitted in due course of time. And there are 2 quizzes, 15 marks, and those will be conducted on mentioning the date and time in advance. So quiz number 1 will be due after lecture number 5, and quiz number 2 will be due after lecture number 12. And quizzes will include MCQs. Every quiz will contain 10 questions. Okay. And then midterm examination, there are 25 marks examination. So participants are expected to demonstrate a basic understanding of this course and all subject material covered in class until the time of examination, which is of 2 hours duration, which shall be 2 to 3 questions in midterm. All questions are mandatory. And then there is a final examination, big day, and you can see the weightage. 50% of the total marks are actually been over there. So participants will be required to creatively apply their knowledge to answer 5 mandatory questions, each carrying equal marks. In preparing for this 3-year-long examination, note that the entire course material is relevant and that the questions asked may relate to any part of it. Do not underestimate the difficulty level of this examination. So this is my advice. This would be a real fun part, and that is the thing. If I'm actually working very hard preparing these slides, so I'm actually going to have very difficult and complex kind of final examination. So get ready for that as well. Now we will spend some time on a few of the definitions before we start, and let's start with the definition of a project. So there is a definition, and that is a project is a sequence of unique, complex and connected activities having one goal or purpose that must be completed by a specific time within budget and according to specification. And then there is another definition, and that is about a project is a complex, non-routine, one-time effort limited by time, budget, resources and performance specifications designed to meet customer needs. And this is from PMI USA. A project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service or result. So there is one word that is called temporary, and there is a word unique. So remember, project is of temporary nature, and if somebody is telling you, okay, we are going to start this project and that will remain there for 100 years, he or she is actually about probably, very most probably, she or he is actually talking about some operations, not project. So there is a difference between the project and operations. And then there is another characteristic, very important characteristic, and that is, okay, let's talk more on temporary. So if somebody is actually saying that we are going to have like a project of 20 years, he or she may be even again talking about some kind of operations, though they can be actually managing those operations through different projects, but this is not a project of 20 years. So one characteristic is very clear as far as projects are concerned. Those are very time bounded, like And there is a very funny and funny quotation, and they say, okay, if you have planned your project for 1 year, your project will be completed in 2 years. And if you have planned your project for 2 years, your project will be completed in 3 years. And if you have planned your project in 3 years, you are not going to complete your project ever. So this is kind of funny quotation, and that is not realistic one, but that actually shows a very good, wise thing in it, and that is you should limit your project to some through some time. In that fashion, you do have better control of your project. Okay. And then there is a thing that is unique. So your project will actually result into unique product or service or result. So if some people is of the opinion, okay, we have constructed this house, 5-marla house in some locality, and then same 5-marla house in same very locality. So what is these are not part of the project, or these are different projects or not? Yes, they are different projects, because these are unique. The team which has actually constructed this one is different, and if the team is same, then the design is different. You know, there is having some. So if the design is same, then there must be a different client or customer in that and in that. But if the customer is same and everything is same, then the cost may be different. If the cost is same and the both are actually constructed in same time, then even then you are having this house in floor number 6 and this might be in 8. So geographic location is actually different, and very most probably different occupants will use these two houses. So there is some uniqueness in that. And one occupant is very caring, and other one is, you know, very lazy. So the life of this house will be more, and the life of this will be lesser. So in that case, these are two different projects. So what are not then projects? So projects must not be confused with an organization's ongoing and recurring operations. For example, customer invoicing and billing. So that is very routine job, you know, and that is not a project. And then fabrication or assembly of automobiles. So machines are working. So okay, there is a frame, and this machine is actually putting some boards and nuts, and this is actually tied in those them up. Okay, so this is kind of routine job. So this is not your project. Okay, and then routine procurement of agriculture inputs for a brewery. And then airline flights, these are not projects, these are operations. Advising a bank client of stock market investment opportunities is another example of operations. And treatment of patients in hospital emergency ward is not project. And counseling of soldiers on a tour of wartime duty is not project, even though they may exhibit project characteristics, goal, time frame, costs, different stakeholders and stuff like that. And now we will talk about simple and complex projects. So remember, the projects are projects, whether if they are simple or complex. But the same very project become simple if the size is small. But at times this happen that the simple small projects are very complex project. So what we want to develop this one pistol, and this pistol is charged through some nuclear battery. Okay, and that nuclear battery is actually installed within that pistol or gun. Okay, so let's have a gun with us. Okay, so like kind of this thing, and yes, okay, and there is and it actually, you know, so this gun is actually produces some light and heat, and which actually results into a very harsh impact or electricity on an individual, and even cause to some kind of serious injury or death. So now we want to develop this pistol. So now this is a very small project, but it is very complex project as of this date. This may become very simple project if after 100 years or even 50 or 10 or 20 years, but this is kind of a very complex project at this point in time for us people, or for most of the people, you know. Yes, there may be case like if some people may have developed that kind of gun with them, and but of this point in time it seems quite, you know, complex. So size is important, but there are exceptions as well. And then there are very large projects, and they are actually being managed by the organization in recent times, in so many projects they have completed. So for those, yes, those become even very simple, even they are having good size. So that is about the level of effort we put into managing them. So it is not about yes, this is about to some extent about size, but it is not all about the size. So it is about the level of effort we put. So for the simple projects we use lesser tools and techniques, but for complex projects we have to use all or most of the tools we do know of. So let's have examples of simple projects. So research papers. So you are going to prepare one research paper for one conference, so that if you are taking up this thing as a project, so this is kind of a very simple project. Lesser stakeholders are involved, you are reading few books and you are preparing one. And then relocation, so that is kind of a simple project. And then tree planting campaigns, weddings. Oh yes, for many people this become very complex, but you know, for most of the people weddings are simple projects. And you know, we do have very plenty of experience, don't we, of weddings, okay. And then relief collections, yes, we can take up this work as a project. And painting, you know, creating some art, and if you are artist, then that would be a simple project. And then preparing for examination, yes, that can be a project. And parties, so arranging parties and event management, you know, those are simple projects. But when it comes to complex and you know, one of the thing is bridges. So a huge number of resources are involved, so many people, so much machinery, so much capital, time, and so much stakeholders involved, and so many customers there would have been. So these are about bridges. And nuclear power stations, those are very complex. And then these dams, these are very complex projects. Ocean liners are very complex. And then commercial aircraft. So there is a difference between commercial aircraft and commercial you know, operation. So commercial aircraft over there, I mean the creation or construction or development of this plane. And Olympic Games, yes, that is very complex project. And skyscrapers, and man on the moon or man on the Mars by 2020-30, that is a very complex project. And another few examples are highways. So highways are very complex endeavors as well. Large factories, cement factories, sugar factories, and such factories, these are examples of complex projects. And then power grids, airports, construction of airports. Currently we are actually having this project of construction of this new airport in Islamabad. And then transitional oil and gas pipelines. One project is so much in limelight nowadays, that is Pakistan-Iran gas pipeline. And there is another prospect of another project, that is Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India project, gas pipeline. So these are very big projects and complex one. And software projects are very complex. While we are actually living in this world of revolution of IT, so these are very complex projects and endeavors as well. And weapon systems, these are another example of complex projects. And then movie blockbusters, these are also the examples of complex projects. And similar to projects, there are sub-projects, and sub-projects are smaller, more manageable components of large, more complex projects. And sub-projects have their own goals and outputs or deliverables, which together constitute the final deliverable. And sub-projects have analogous to the main project in which they are integrated their own scope, scheduled, cost, human resource, risks, etc. And complex projects are divided into phases, sub-projects for better management. So very good example of sub-projects of a very complex project, and that is Sydney Olympics game 2000. So over there you can have these events. Now they are having these events management is all about, and if these events are completed and never and none of the other is completed, so these events are of no use. But if those events are not, event management is not, or events are not actually taken place, then the remaining sub-projects will be having lesser utility as well, right? So for that, this is very important for the success of other, and similarly, if this is completed and neither of the other is completed, then this is of no use. And then venues, facilities and accommodation, and then there was a sub-project of transportation, and then media facilities and coordination, and telecommunication and security arrangement, medical care, financing, public relations, opening and closing ceremonies, IT projects, pre-game training, cultural Olympiad, and human resource and volunteers, test games and trial events, and sponsorship management. So this was a very highly complex project which comprised several distinct work areas, each of which could be considered as sub-projects in their own right, and which all had to be integrated and coordinated within the framework of overall Olympic project. And this is a very simple definition. What is project management? And project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, techniques to project activities to meet the project requirements. So, and many people do confuse complex projects with programs, but programs are quite different thing. So this is a definition of a program. So a program is basically a group of related projects managed in a coordinated way to obtain benefits and control not available from managing them individually. Okay. So if you are having this one project, and you are having this one project, and there is another project, and okay, so and you are sitting over there, and well, this is a CEO, and there is one guy who is actually working on that project, is a project man, and there is another guy, and there is another guy, and there is another guy. So there are 4 projects, and there are 4 project managers, and this is one area of the organization, and there are another area of organization, and there is another organization, and there is another area of organization, there is another, and there are 4 projects, and this is 6 projects, 8 projects, 2 projects, and 1 project. So just think if CEO has to attend the calls from 4 project managers, 6, 8, 2, 1, and currently this organization is actually running like 21 projects. and what if he has to manage all the projects. So what this guy has done is he has developed a program of these interrelated projects, and one guy is actually managing all this program. Okay, so this program is managed by this, and then these are different programs, and then these program managers are actually doing some interaction with this CEO over there. So that is a very good example why the programs are. But there is a difference between sub-projects and programs and complex projects. Okay, if you can identify that, then you are doing good. So complex projects are large projects, and at times they are divided into sub-projects and phases. But if we complete one phase of a complex project and successfully completed one phase, but the remaining phases are not done, then this phase is of no use. Okay, so even though it has completed its part, but this is of no use. And then if we have completed all the 4 phases, but one of the phases not been made, so the project is okay, but it will not be fully functional without that part. So this is about sub-projects and project. But when it comes to programs, okay, if you have killed this project, and this guy has been transferred to this program, so now you have killed this project. So even then, still your program may be successful. So if you kill the second project and this project manager is transferred to this project or program, then still this program is okay. So the projects are actually grouped to have better management and control. So this is about program, and there is a difference between program and sub-project and complex. So some examples are one capital investment program may have like project for upgrading equipment, another project for IT training personnel, and another program for expanding production line, another project for acquiring large-scale finding, and these all 4 projects are actually part of this one program, a capital investment program. And there are similarities and dissimilarities between programs and projects. So these are few similarities over there. So programs and projects have goals and objectives which define their purpose of existence. So both have goals. Programs and projects have lifespans. So both have lifespans. Programs and projects consume resources and necessarily incur a cost. Programs and projects require application of methodology and must be managed properly to bolster their chances of success. And programs and projects aim at helping organizations achieve their mission and adding value to them. And these are differences, and programs may have multiple objectives, whereas projects have only one prime goal. A program has a comparatively longer span and obviously cost more than combination of all the projects which constitute it. So if we are having like 4 projects and the cost is 100, 100, 100 and 100, so the cost of program will not be 400, that will be 400 plus something, and that is about the cost of managing the program. A program is inherently more complex than a constituting project. It has a broader scope and may require extensive coordination between its various constituting projects. Whereas a project results in creation of an output and is then ended, a program must integrate and maintain the operationality of the output for a specified period of time. And in the last, we will talk about what is process, a set of interrelated actions and activities that are performed to achieve a pre-specified set of products, results, or services. And one of the example of processes, this is about project management process, and there are a few inputs. So then we apply some tools and techniques, and we get some outputs. So like information technology, qualitative, quantitative tools, outputs of other processes, material inputs, stakeholder interaction, request interactions. So all these are actually put into, and then we apply necessary time, cost, resources, and apply some tools and techniques, and we get business case, project portfolio mix, project feasibility report, master plan, customer change request, and stuff like that. So these reports are output. So this is a very good example of a process. And so today we had talked about a few basic definitions and course conduct and course outlines and how we will complete this course. Okay, from now onward, we will be having a summary at the end, and then we will start our lecture with the summary of the previous lecture. So this would be the pattern of this course and these sessions. So we end our lecture with this end note that the project management does not guarantee the success, but it increases the likelihood of the success of the project. So I hope we have taken a very good start, and there is a very good saying that well started is half done. So I hope we have learned some concepts, and we are ready to start a journey to the learning, and I say thank you and Allah Hafiz.